All right, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Seriously Loco's supporter watch along. I'm Phil Bakke, your host, and I am joined, as always, by Austin Young. Austin, how you doing? You're looking good, kitted out in the eighth notch gear.
Hey, definitely, man. I'm feeling great. It's Saturday. Locomotive's playing right now in about 25 minutes as kickoff, guys. Lineups just announced. What do you think, Phil?
Well, I was sitting out scratching the Real Monarchs lineup down. They got a pretty strong squad. Just looking across, they got two guys who have spent some pretty significant time with Real Salt Lake. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys kind of get integrated into the squad. We got Tate Schmidt and Eric Holt, both of which are homegrown players for RSL. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys kind of come into the team because their team photos are in RSL shirts and not not Real Monarchs. So they are spending this time with the reserves, despite normally being first team players.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think that's gonna. It's a good and a bad thing as well for the Locomotives going up against reserves. In a way, I mean, obviously these guys have been playing together for a little bit, but it should be interesting. This is gonna be Locomotive's first game up against a MLS2 squad. Next week we could go up against another one, which is Rio Grande. So it's gonna be very interesting just to see the different styles of how an MLS2 squad plays. But I'm very intrigued on how the Locomotives are going to go ahead and handle that today.
Yeah, so the lineup just came out. Do you want to talk through some of your thoughts about this 4-4-2 that's just been put out by Loco?
Yeah, definitely. I'm honestly not surprised we didn't see any changes on the back line. We did see a bit of a change there in midfield. We do see Yuma up in the lineup today. He's going to be playing there mid with Richie Ryan. We still got Kiffy out the left wing, Gebhardt on the right wing. They did move Contreras up to play with Salgado up top, which was a bit surprising. So it looks like they're running a bit of a 4-4-2. Like you did mention before we went live, it is a little defensive, which is surprising.
Yeah, the whole approach is, I mean, it makes sense in an away game, kind of without any other context. You would say, yeah, we want to play on the counter. We want to kind of get after, play defensively, and hit them on the break. But there's parts of the lineup that seem more attacking than last week, and parts of the lineup that seem a little more defensive. Playing Yuma and Richie Ryan are, both kind of midfielders who retain possession, rotate the ball well. And I'm looking at the bench. They've got Edson Partida, who can play on the left wing. We've got Chapa on the bench as well, Castellanos, Resende, Ross, and then Jermaine Forda as the backup keeper, with Daniel Navarro as our backup center back on the bench. So we've certainly got, if we need goals, we've certainly got plenty of people who can come in and get after it off the bench.
No, and I definitely agree. I'd love to see Descendants come in today and play. Possibly, like we mentioned earlier this week, if Leach Chapa can come in for a bit around minute 80. I think it's just going to depend on the flow of the game. But definitely, we do have one of our biggest concerns this offseason was on the attacking, but I think after seeing this last game, that's no longer an issue. We've got the power to go ahead and be attacking and see definitely what the bench can bring and see what changes Mark Lowry's going to want to go ahead and do.
Yeah, it's going to be – I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup. We've got – last week, Monarchs played to a 1-1 draw with Sac Republic, and Sac Republic, pretty good squad as well. But it will be their first time at home at Zions Bank Stadium in Salt Lake City. And it'll be interesting to see how they approach it because like we brought up in the podcast, and I brought it up again in 3 points yesterday, they seem like they might be vulnerable to being put under pressure. And this midfield is probably from Lowry a good way of getting after, forcing them into mistakes and putting them under pressure.
No, and I think that's exactly what he's trying to do. I mean, we saw last week This lineup can really put pressure. I'm assuming he just wants to retain maybe a little bit more possession in the back end, putting Yuma and Ryan there. I'm just more intrigued. I'm more interested to see who's going to stay more back and who's going to push more forward. So they both have very similar styles of play. But I think it's definitely wanting to put the pressure on the Real Monarchs and see how they can handle it.
Yeah, the decision. I mean, we see Seb listed on this lineup card as being up top with Omar. I think that might be a little misleading in that I'm sure he'll trend a little further back than Omar, and he'll try to play in that kind of false nine or shadow striker role, whatever you want to call it, in order to give a little bit more freedom for Omar to get forward and attack those balls into the box.
No, definitely, and I think that might end up happening depending if Monarchs are going to be pushing or not. Ryan and Yuma might have to push a little back, so Contreras may have to rotate down and leave Omar up top by themselves. But definitely, I think Kiffy's going to have to be swinging a couple balls into the box and use Omar's height, see what we can definitely do about getting some goals that way.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we've seen it from I've seen it from big teams before where they play almost like asymmetric, and one side of the field is more defensive and one side of the field is more attacking. And I think when you look down the right and you see Gebhardt and Rebellon, and then look at the left and it's Kiffy and Fox, you can kind of see where Kiffy and Fox maybe play a little bit more conservatively down that left-hand side. Kiffy will definitely deliver a few balls in, as he did. He had 3 key passes in the game last week. But Gebhardt, you'd expect to make some runs in towards kind of cutting inside, and he's going to add to that attack, whereas Kiffy may stay a little bit wider. We saw, last week Gebhardt gets to the far post quite often for chances there. Rebellon also will run centrally with the ball. So they can create an overload on that right-hand side, depending on how things play out. And we may see, the left-hand side of Real Monarchs may be under quite a bit of pressure on the defensive side of the ball this time around.
No, definitely. And I'm hoping Gebhardt, can put another goal, get another goal today. But I have to completely agree with you. I think that might be what Mark is doing here. You want to see one side being very defensive, one side being very attacking. I'm trying to look at Real Monarchs lineup, see if they've given any kind of formation here to see what they're going to be kind of pushing on the left side, but they haven't given us much here. So, I mean, that's what I assumed last week playing against Oklahoma, that Mark was going very defensive on one wing, very attacking on the other, just because of the kind of attackers that Oklahoma had on their squad. I'm just very intrigued to see how Monarchs is going to go ahead and line up their guys here. We do have the starting 11, but we don't have any kind of formation, so we wouldn't be able to assume that's what Mark wants to go ahead and attack here today. And that's
yeah. I took a wild stab in the dark just based on looking at some of these players. I've got them playing a 4-4-2 as well. I could be completely off base because they haven't provided the lineup, but I think obviously Ochoa is going to be in goal because he's wearing the different kit in the picture. But we got what I think is going to be a back four of Powder on the left, Kalen Ryden and Eric Holt at center back, and Andrew Brody on the right, based off of historically where they've played. And then I think we're going to have a midfield four of Ricardo Avila and Luis Palma on the wings, with Jack Blake and Michael Chang in the center, with Jack Blake playing more of a number 6 defensive kind of role. Michael Chang probably the more attacking of the two, because last season for Monarchs he had 4 goals and 9 assists, which 9 assists led the team. That's pretty good return. And then Douglas Martinez and Tate Schmidt, I think, are going to play together up top. But that is a complete guess based off of information available on the internet. So it could be totally wrong. I don't know.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm even going through Twitter feed trying to go back to last week, see if we can get any kind of indication here and see how they're going to play. I think I agree with you. They're probably going to be playing that 4-4-2 pretty well. Just like you said, based off what the players have played in the past. But it's going to be interesting, especially like I mentioned before, it's playing against that MLS2 squad that, for me, I believe you have to play very differently, just because of the type of players and the way they're lining up, the way they've played together. So it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of the sides, I think, kind of feeling each other out as this is week 2. And we're still not sure, was their draw against Sacramento a lucky result? Was it a lucky result for Sacramento? Was our result? I think we've all maintained that it was a fairly unlucky result for us. But will those results hold? And as we're about 15 minutes from kickoff, if you guys are watching, go ahead and jump in the chat if you got anything to add. How do you think that we're going to play? What do you think about this 4-4-2 that Mark has put out? Go ahead and jump in the chat, and you can interact along with us, because this is a watch along. It's commentary, but it's also just a chance for us to watch the game and kind of interact with other fans along the way, and provide a very Locomotive biased perspective to you guys. So I can see. Do you know BLT Gamers, Austin?
I was actually looking them up right now. Actually,
okay. Yeah, they've been given a lot of love to the channel. So hello to BLT Gamers. Thanks for tuning in. And I appreciate you guys getting into it.
They look like a lot of like Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty heavy channel.
Oh yeah, you gotta love the battle royale. That's that's a hotness right now.
Definitely.
I've been obsessed with Apex, being off topic and real right now.
Nice, man. I'm not gonna lie, I did try Apex for a little bit. Not a big fan of it. I've kind of stuck with Fortnite. I know a lot of people give you shit about it, but it's to me, the building aspect of Fortnite just gives you a whole nother thing to try to master.
Yeah,
which to me makes it a lot more fun. But that's a whole discussion on the wrong kind of.
Well, I mean, the only thing I'll say is I was obsessed with Titanfall. So like when they put out Apex, that was like basically a dream for me. So I like it got me to go back and play through Titanfall 2's campaign, which again, a discussion for a different day on a different type of channel.
No, definitely. But I mean, hey, it's if you play Titanfall, I can definitely get that. To me, it gave me like a Borderlands 2 Black Ops type of feel to me.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who joined to hear soccer talk, we got a breadth of topics that we can talk about, and we're just waiting for the feed to kick off. So we've got a little over 10 minutes until kickoff. I'm gonna run through a couple of I'm gonna scratch down the benches for both these teams on my little cheat sheets so that I'm not speaking completely out of my my rear end throughout the broadcast. To all those guys down at Palomino, in the future, I think we want these broadcasts to be done from the live venues. I think that would be really awesome. So going to try to work that out and get these broadcasts kind of, a little more atmospheric, a little more involved with the Eighth Notch guys, because we know how fun that can be.
No, definitely. And I think last week was a big wake up call to a lot of people around the city, not for us necessarily, but around the city and the team as well. I mean, people been keeping up with their Instagram story. The backup keeper, I always forget his name. Forda, was running their Instagram story, and people were asking him like, "What's your favorite song to listen to?" And he's like, "Anything Eighth Notch is singing." Definitely a great reception from the team, and that was great to see. And hopefully, we get a lot more people involved next week.
Yeah, that was really cool. The whole thing. There are a few things that had me laughing. From Jermaine, he's a riot, and I've had the pleasure of talking to him a couple of times, and just he's a great character to have in the squad. He's one of those guys where you're just like, you can see exactly why he's the type of guy that you would bring in, as a backup keeper, not only because of his quality, but because of his kind of whole attitude. And bringing in guys like that around the squad is just nothing but positive.
No, I definitely agree with that. It's just I think like they were saying his like the Joker on the squad. You could even see him joking around with Elmer. Sometimes you need that in the locker room. It's just the clown of sorts, you know.
Yeah.
It can bring morale up in a bad time, and when you're on a good winning streak, it can keep the morale up. I mean, you always have to have somebody like that in the locker room.
Yeah, it was hilarious to see, and it is interesting to see a squad kind of develop because that chemistry is still going to be building throughout. They're not going to be able to, they've still only been together about 8 weeks now, and so that you can see the chemistry kind of coming together, but they're still probably figuring out who the leaders are. And although one thing we didn't talk about, so Chiro, it kind of flew under the radar, I think, because we were all just like rowdy in 105, and but Chiro actually was named the captain in the end. So one of the most experienced guys on the team. Do you have any issues with Chiro being selected as the captain?
No, I did see him come on the field with the band in the first one, out with the team. So I kind of caught that when even though we were pretty rowdy out there. But I'm not surprised, man. Sometimes you want somebody with that experience to be your captain out there. So I like it. I think we're expecting. Personally, I was expecting either him, Salgado, or Yuma to go and be the captain just because of the experience.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of people expected Omar to be the captain because hometown team, all that stuff. But I mean, the main example in the world game, I guess, is of a striker being the captain is Harry Kane. And I'm always a little uneasy when a striker is also the captain because now the expectation is almost double, where it's all right, go out there and score goals because you're the main man, and now you're the leader of the team as well. You have to organize the team. You have to, make sure everybody's head stays in the game. I think that's a lot on one player's shoulders for me.
No, and I completely agree. I think like you said, it is a lot for them to go in and put on their own shoulders. Not only do they have to worry about putting the ball in the back of the net, but having to rally the team. I think we did see a little bit of that from Salgado last week after they scored on them in the first minute. You saw him kind of trying to get the team back up and come on, guys, let's go. But it's to do that for a full 90 minutes as well as trying to get the ball in there. It can take a toll on a player, especially if you're a struggling striker.
Yeah, he will certainly be a leader. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But it will be, I think, in a more informal squad role than what we've seen, from a captain in the past. But yeah, he'll certainly be out there kind of directing things, and especially from an attacking perspective, I'm sure he'll start spotting things or seeing where we can start to exploit, hey, calling for runs from midfielders or linking up with Seb. And I think that's the thing that I'm probably most intrigued about with this lineup is with them playing kind of closer together based on the formation, how that link up goes and how that because we saw Seb has some real good ability on the ball and he can find a pass, and it'll just be interesting to see what kind of opportunities that opens up for Omar in this match, because I know we all want to see him get kind of a clear opportunity on goal, which we didn't really see in the first match.
Definitely. I feel like I was rewatching it again the other day, and I mean, he did have a couple good positions towards the goal, a couple headers that maybe if he would have taken a different angle could have gone in. There was a couple questionable kicks that he took towards the goal. He was maybe like 30 yards out and was trying to put it in when he doesn't have like his coming from the right wing and turning, trying to curve that ball in from about 30 yards out. And unless you're Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, you don't have that kind of leg power to curve it in from about 30 yards out. So, I mean, it's interesting to see how he's going to go out and take it this week and see how he's going to attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I think part of that was it seemed like frustration from him a little bit in he wasn't getting as many good looks as what he probably thought. So the second he had a chance to turn on the ball, he's he's looking for an opportunity to shoot regardless. I do enjoy a striker who backs himself that much to be able to say, yeah, 25, 30 yards, who cares? I'm going to score.
No, definitely. And I mean, as a striker, you got to have that confidence. It's like, just like any other sport, the star player, the point guard on a basketball team, the quarterback on a football team, you have to have that confidence that you're the best player on the field. And you got to show that you feel like you can score from anywhere on the pitch. You feel like if you just put it up from midfield that it's going to go in. So it's definitely, seeing that confidence from Omar is a good thing. And hopefully, unfortunately, if he doesn't come away with the goal today, we're all hoping he does. If he doesn't, hopefully you can still keep that confidence up.
Yeah, I know there will be a strong reaction from both of the people you see in front of you right now. If Omar puts one in, I may be off. I'm just going to try not to break my computer. That's about the only stipulation there. I'll be out and about. You'll only hear me for a little bit as I run around the house. So, yeah, it's no, I think that's what we're all hoping for in this game. But the upside to the way that we've set up is I think we can use Omar as a focal point for the defense and kind of attack in ways that make them make hard decisions about, do I track Omar? Do I double team Omar? Or do I track, Contreras? Do I go out to close down the cross from Kiffy? Do I try to track Gebhard's run into the box? That type of stuff. It's I think we can cause them some dilemmas with the way we've set up.
Definitely, and I'm hoping that Gebhard's performance last week really gets Monarchs on their back heels, thinking, like you said, do we track Omar? Do we track Gebhard? It's really, our biggest worry was people putting two center backs on Omar. Now it's going to be a matter of, do we keep two center backs on Omar, or do we send one of our center backs with our left back out there with the Gebhard or not? So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it definitely will. We are just a few short minutes away from kickoff. It is, I don't know. I always get really nervous before games. So this is partially, this is partially a like therapeutic for me, and that if I'm talking, then it takes my mind off of the nerves slightly, because it will be an interesting interesting matchup. So actually, before we get into this, two kind of storylines here. So two players for Real Monarchs, number 48, Jack Blake, who is he's an English central midfielder. He played for Tampa Bay Rowdies last season. He played for Jacksonville Armada and Lowry the season before, as did Kalen Ryden, who will be in center back for Monarchs. So a couple of former Lowry players coming up through the system and playing against their old boss in this one. Those type of narratives always give me a little bit of nerves when they've got the chance to kind of stick it to one of their old bosses.
And I feel like everybody, whenever that kind of situation happens, plays with a chip on their shoulder. So I think it's, like you said, it's gonna be interesting them going up against their old bosses, like you say, and it's gonna be interesting, man. And I can't wait. Kickoffs in less than 3 minutes.
Yep.
So it's gonna be fun, man.
I'm sitting here refreshing my ESPN Plus to try to get it as soon as the stream goes live. I
think they're actually lined up right now for the national anthem, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, I think the stream will go live like right on time, basically. Let's see. The my old hometown team, the Chicago Fire, are currently getting just absolutely embarrassed by Seattle. So no change there, basically.
I'm actually rooting for Chicago on that one, man. I'm actually a Timbers fan myself, so.
Oh, okay. No, that's Seattle's the worst, but there's
don't get me started on
it looks like the stream is going live now, so they're showing a nice little montage of all the USL action. They've showed the same like 5 goals all in a row. That was interesting, editing wise, but all right, they are live out at Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs versus El Paso Locomotive. They've spelled locomotive wrong on the stream. They spelled it with an A. Locomotive.
That's because we're locals and locas, man.
Yeah, it's an inclusive group. So yeah, Loca's represented as well. The stadium kind of, I don't know, reminiscent a little bit of El Paso with, but there's snow on the mountains, as there kind of is today down here in El Paso as well.
Must say, I think we got a little snow on the mountains ourselves too.
Yeah. So kickoff is getting close, and now I just want them to get started. The mascot's out on the field. There's all kinds of stuff happening behind the Real Salt Lake broadcast team, who I hope you have muted if you're listening to us, because they are not going to provide you with the loco bias that you're looking for if you're tuning in here. Let's see.
I think you mentioned to me that I haven't looked at it yet, but that Salt Lake plays today as well, don't they?
Yeah, they played DC United, and I thought that would help us avoid any kind of cross pollination with the first teamers. But there are a couple of guys they left back for this match, as we talked about earlier, Tate Schmidt and Eric Holt. So anybody you see in the team that has a squad number under about 40. You can tell that those are the guys who play with the first team regularly. Similar to Liga MX, when you see a guy come out and he's number 247 on the which I always love to see the 3-digit squad numbers. I think that's hilarious with the academy guys.
Right, like I was watching the FC Juarez game the other night against Veracruz. By the way, they move on to the semifinals in the Copa MX. They will be playing Pumas and Juarez, actually.
That's awesome.
So yeah, even Juarez themselves had a couple academy players out there, and there was like 290, 250 and stuff, and it's always interesting to see that.
Yeah, I believe the rules in the Copa are a little different, that they require some number of academy players to play, or at least be named in the squad. Do you know any kind of more details on that?
Me personally, I do not. Just because Copa MX, some of the rules are a little obscure compared to some around the world. But yeah, I do know there is some sort of rule about academy players. I'm not sure if they actually do have to play or if they just have to dress for the game.
Right.
I don't know if anybody watching can clarify that for us.
Yeah, if you know the ins and outs of the Copa in Mexico, go ahead and jump in the chat.
What I'm excited for is the U.S. Open Cup here, man. I know, like Daniel, they're going to be playing in April.
Yeah,
which I'm hoping I can make that match once I get out of work. So that's going to be interesting. Everybody, if you can make that, support any El Paso soccer, Southwest. And who knows, maybe we'll see a Southwest versus Locomotives game in the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah, I think you could see if Southwest FC they play their last qualifying match against FC Denver in April. I think the venue is still being decided. They're still working it out, but
I saw listed on the website that it's going to be at Pebble Hills High School.
Yeah, that's where they normally play at. So I would be I would think that it would be there again. They'll play FC Denver. I mean, this will be the second U.S. Open Cup match in a row that they've hosted at home, and this one is the match that will take them into the first round proper of the Open Cup, and it will be. I think like if we can, it's an off week for Locomotive, so I think if we can get the eighth notch and people who would normally go to a Locomotive game, get them out at the at that match for man, they spelled Locomotive wrong again in the lineup.
We have to do that.
Loca. And they've also listed our whole team as either defenders or midfielders. So yeah. USL Championships graphics team just hurting a little bit. It's an early match, Here we
go. We got a 4-2-3-1 that Real's
yeah, that's what they're showing. Schmidt out on the left rather than up top. Avila in a 10, Chang out on the right. So yeah, always going to be a little bit of they showed us in a 4-2-3-1 as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they take shape kind of as the match plays out. And I think we are just moments away from the kickoff.
Those poor four guys with the drums.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, those are the dedicated guys, and Locomotive get things started. Drum plays a long ball over the top. We're just looking to get after him right away, and it's headed behind it. It'll go out for a throw, not quite for a corner. I thought we may have earned a corner just a few seconds in. We have not matched OKC's speed with which they scored the opener against us. I was hoping we could match the record and just immediately get back, the wrong that we suffered at the hands of Deshaun Brown. But we're already 30 seconds in. The ball's rolled into Omar. He's battling with a couple of players on the edge of the box. Looked like he was brought down, but
should have been a foul. I think a missed call.
Yeah, that looked like a foul to me.
I think you're a good point. It would have been nice to see him come out playing like OKC, but I feel like early mistake here by Monarchs here.
Ooh, yeah, a little mix up or in a corner.
All right, but no, I feel like Mark's tempo with the game is never going to allow us to be able to break that record. But we'll see what happens here with this corner coming up.
Yeah, early corner. We see a that early mix up, just pressure, bad back pass leads to that corner, and I think it'll be that's what we talked about in the week, and just putting them under pressure and forcing them to make mistakes. Yuma to take the corner.
Oof.
Looking to go short. Oh, near post, flicked on, and it's cleared. This might be a counter opportunity for Real Monarchs. They moved it out wide, and good closing down in the end. It was Richie Ryan across to deal with that situation.
And Richie did a great job there, not letting them get past that midfield.
Yeah.
Pulling that back. And I guess we're kind of seeing Yuma's be the one pushing up more here in the early parts of the game.
Yeah, definitely. Yuma getting possession back and can see the patient style. Lowry, after the game last week, he said that he was still kind of shocked about how everything played out, and he was just scratching his head about how exactly Locomotive suffered that 3-1 defeat, and because they did play well with the ball, and it was just those couple of opportunities that they gave out. Good pass out to the left, looking for Kiffy from Yuma, but Kiffy not able to control it. It's out for a throw.
Mm-hmm. It looks like we're trying to play a little bit more long ball. Great job by Yuma trying to switch the play.
Yeah.
Hopefully Kiffy can come down with those as the game goes on.
Real Monarchs looking to play out from the back. It's always interesting to see, too, with the MLS2 sides, does the style get kind of dictated to them in terms of, are they going to play the way that they want to play? Good interception there by Meshach Jerome to win back after a attempted back heel from Monarchs, not the most clever pass in the end.
Trying to go a little cheeky.
Yeah, they're putting the pressure on us a little bit, but it's back to Ketterer. Ketterer, before the match today, posted a little something on the flight out to Phoenix. A guy identified him as the goalie because he had crazy eyes like an eagle, and he asked if that was true because keepers are crazy, and I told him, unfortunately, yes. He's
You
got
need a
the
crazy keeper.
yeah. You have to have that little just I mean, just to face a ball being kicked at you, that's, throw your body in front of it. That's just kind of how it is. It's the same with goalies in any sport with them, and catchers in baseball I think get a similar reputation, and so he's not alone, but he certainly is a little crazy. We've fashioned something a little good down the left here. Cycles back Ryan to Yuma in the center of the field. Yuma's got options ahead of him, plays it out wide. Gebhard had dropped deep. Actually, it was Rebellion who had dropped deep, and nice little 1-2. Yuma's back in space, and Rebellion opts for the simple pass back to Mishak Jerome.
It's nice to see Jerome coming up a little bit more, trying to help him out there on the wing with Gebhard, because you can tell Gebhard's trying to get into the box a little more. So it's going to be interesting how we're going to play it on the back line there.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. We've definitely opted for a kind of simple and safe kind of approach, especially playing out from the back. But a good ball forward from Jerome finds Gebhard. He's cut inside, looks for Kiffy out on the left, just looking to change the direction of the play. Kiffy gets to the byline, can put a cross in here, and it's deflected behind. I think that's a corner for Locomotive. We'll have another opportunity here from the corner. That was really well done by Kiffy to go past a couple of players and get to the byline to put in that dangerous cross.
Kiffy's really showing us some different styles here, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, like we mentioned, we all expected him to be playing on that back line, but past 2 weeks has been doing great on that left side.
Looks like Richie Ryan across to take this one into the box at the near post. A little bit of wrestling going on, it looked like, but ref didn't see anything wrong with it. It's chipped back out to the left. And I think Locomotive are just going to look to recycle and kind of reset the play here. Chiro, Ketterer all the way out. We talked about him playing aggressive in the last match. He plays the sweeper keeper, the Neuer role there, coming out to clear that one.
I was about to say that. Who else is kind of reminding me of Manuel Neuer out there playing out, and hopefully we don't see any of those crazy diving headers that we see from Neuer, but it's nice to see coming out and playing that ball.
Yeah, Yuma with a pass all the way back to Logan in goal, and opts to play it a little more simply this time. Can see patience from Locomotive here. Just a little mix-up between Ryan and Andrew Fox at left back there. That's a little sloppy. We haven't seen too many sloppy plays from Locomotive so far, but an equally sloppy play from Real Monarchs leads to a throw, and it's taken quickly. It's launched forward. Can Omar get on the end of this? Omar looks to chip the keeper. Oh my God. Oh, nearly a golazo. Nearly.
And Omar showing that confidence again that we were talking about. Love that, trying to take the shot there. Just missed it by a couple feet there, but I'm glad to see us attacking very early in this game.
That would have been, what a way that would have been to open the account. A little bit of a risky pass, but okay. He was retaking the goal kick. Wow. Yeah. Good ball chip forward. Something for Omar to run onto, facing goal. It's basically the first time we've seen it. And he opts to hit it with the first time. A mistake there. And Omar nearly able to latch on. Real able to keep it up. But you can see the pressure wins the ball back for Locomotive again. And couple of mistakes here from Monarchs, forced mistakes by Locomotive. And they've got them under pressure here.
And that's what we definitely want to see. I mean, compared to last week, Locomotive's got to take advantage of those mistakes just like Oklahoma did. It's nice to see us putting that pressure. And as we did mention, it seems to be bothering the Monarchs a bit here today.
Oh man, that would have been one of the goal of the season contenders had Omar pulled that off. That first time hit on the volley, just a lob as Gebhard's, or actually it's Rebellion flagged for offside, trying to get down that right hand side.
I think that might be our first offside call this season.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that the forwards are kind of playing a little more on the edge, it seems, as that Omar Chance, he was definitely on the shoulder of the last defender, trying to get onto that pass in behind. And it's definitely another dimension that we didn't really see last week, as we were more patient and more a little less direct in our play. So interesting to see that added, and nearly paid off for us immediately.
Oh, definitely. And one interesting I am seeing is Yuma is directing traffic there in the midfield. You can see him pointing out to where the pass will get that ball to. So it's very interesting to see him in the lineup this week, see how he's going to manage the team there in the mid.
And Omar fouled that time. He would have been in behind. That's pretty cynical from the Real Monarchs defender, and I don't know that he's right on the edge of a potential booking with that one for me.
No, definitely. And Omar trying to go for that Lukaku type of turn there.
Yeah. And defender trying to turn there again, and he's grabbed by the defender, not called. That was a good ball in from Chiro to the feet of Omar there.
And we can start seeing Monarchs are going to be trying to key in on Omar there. They have 3 defenders on him on that turn. It's going to be very interesting how Mark's going to want to go ahead and counter that there with Gebhardt.
Ball forward in space for Rebayon. Chip forward, just over the head of Omar as he was rushing in. That was a good ball out from the back from Andrew Fox, actually, all the way across the field and into space. Rebayon was in loads of space out there on the right, and his cross is just a little too tall for the 6'4" Omar.
Beautiful cross in there by Rebayon and trying to get that into Omar. Very interesting to see how they want to play that long ball there.
And a foul here for Monarchs as pressure again leads to possession for Locomotive. Another kind of those counter breaking fouls that you, even this early in the game, you can start to see yellows given for this type of stuff. Just cynical this time on Derek Gebhardt.
I'm wondering if the ref is just giving him a chance to play this early in the game, but 2 very early fouls in this game that I agree could have been bookings very easily, probably later in the game.
Yeah, and it is let's see, it is Luis Palma who committed that foul. He the Honduran living right on the edge with that one, and he does get a talking to from the referee. It's Richie Ryan over this one with his left foot. He'll chip it into the box. It's headed away by Monarchs. They'll look to break, but one back, and I think off of a Monarchs player for another Locomotive throw. They've done such a good job at just pinning Monarchs back here and not really letting them have any time to breathe and get into Locomotive's half.
No, definitely, and it's the pressure's getting to him, as we can see that left and right back here. We got him pushing up, leaving Jerome and Toko back there. So that's just where the good part of Ketterer kind of coming up does come in play, gives us 2 extra men down the field.
Yeah, and the way that we've possessed the ball, the fullbacks aren't really having to worry about playing much defense, as you said, as now Monarchs have won the ball back in the center of the field. Chiro tries to cheat up, and I think he commits a foul there. It's a good foul in the context of things, just to break things up, and Monarchs will have a free kick, and really their first foray into Locomotive's half with the ball in quite some time.
No, definitely, and we're playing very good in the midfield, possessing the ball, playing very Mark Lowry type style there.
Yeah, I think the Lowry ball is well and truly in effect. We saw the good and bad of it last week in that we got sucker punched 3 times, but you're seeing the good of it this week as the pressure is just building on Monarchs, and in this case, Ketterer able to collect that cross extremely easily and roll it out for Chiro to restart play from the back.
Great play by our defense back there in the corner, not letting them get any space. It seems like we are frustrating them a bit, and it seems like they're trying to push up a little as well.
Yeah, they're playing a lot more of a pressure game here, and you do win the ball back here on the left, on El Paso's left. Try to switch the play. Monarchs enjoying a little more possession now in these last couple of moments, but good win there by James Kiffey, and just a poor pass back towards Yuma gives the ball away. I think it was actually Contreras there on the ball, so a uncharacteristically bad giveaway from Seb there. Won't see that very often.
I'm wondering if he was trying to get that ball over to Gebhardt and just didn't get enough behind it, or if he expected Yuma to come up a lot quicker.
Yeah, it could be, as Yuma's now playing in a much more defensive role, and El Paso's pinned back a little bit here by Monarchs. They haven't been able to get out of their half for the last couple of minutes, as Chiro heads that cross away, and little shove on Contreras, but it is off Contreras and out for another Monarchs throw. Just want to see us break here, I think.
It seems like we are struggling a little bit to get that ball cleared there. Hopefully, our mids can go in and get it. Richie and Yuma really need to control that ball more in the mid here in these past couple moments.
Yeah, it's been, basically the first 12 minutes, barely saw anything from Monarchs. Now they're providing a little bit more of a threat, but we've won the ball back here. It's Yuma on it and opts to slow things down and get us back to possession a little bit. It's Rebayon running forward through midfield, fouled there. Again, another cynical foul, and this time it's Tate Schmidt. Not the best moment from the young Real Salt Lake homegrown player.
I think that's something that you see something from a little more experienced player, seeing somebody that's going to go in and outrun you, take that early foul. You know, it's the way the Raspin Klein is not going to get booked this early in the game just yet.
Right. Yeah, that's it was a smart foul in the end, because Rebayon had basically dusted him completely. So that could have been a dangerous situation for Monarchs, and a good foul for them in the end, as Contreras able to turn on the ball here. Kiffy rolls it back through for Contreras. We've got an opportunity here. Gebhardt's at the far post. Omar at the near, and it's
Omar
tipped over.
That was a great attack there by the Locomotives. Gebhardt and Omar coming into the box. Contreras trying to cross that in. It's those few moments that you got to be able to put that ball in the net. I feel like Contreras may have pushed that a little too far ahead for Omar there.
They called that a goal kick, but I don't know if Omar actually got anything on that. I couldn't tell by the replay, but it didn't look particularly that wasn't Omar's finish that skied that far over the bar. I don't believe. Monarchs going back the other way, try to slide it through. That'll be easy for Ketterer to collect, and he's been quick off his line today. I think it's a welcome change to what we saw last week, and I'm sure he's been doing plenty of work in training this week about making those decisions and coming off his line to collect the ball like he did there.
I agree. I feel like maybe that may have been a very big point of emphasis on training this week, and seeing him be more decisive this week has been very refreshing.
Ketterer looking for the ball out to Rebayon. Rebayon gives the foul away. I don't know about that one. Jumping with Tate Schmidt. It's kind of a soft foul for me. He comes through the back of him a little bit, but
I'd say that's a 50-50 ball there. Rebayon does come in a little towards the back and kind of pushes him off the ball a bit. I think that could have been called either way there.
Yeah, just approaching the 17-minute mark here. Luis Palma stands over a free kick in a dangerous area, I think, for him to deliver a ball into the box. I'm sure they'll be looking for one of their big men to get on the end of this one as he floats it in. Still maybe just giving themselves a breather. They have had a rough opening 17 minutes here. Chipped in towards the penalty spot, and it's behind for a goal kick. Evades everybody. I think there were a couple of Monarchs players complaining for a shove in the box, but not getting anything for that.
I feel like these free kicks are really going to be a big advantage for the Locomotives this season with the height that we do have on the squad. With Chiro, Omar, when he comes on, it's going to be very interesting and great to know that we've got that height in there, and it's going to be very hard for players to get that header in on us.
Yeah, you definitely see I don't see a lot of teams getting a lot of joy out of those set pieces with the size we have in defense, and those veteran heads as well. Those are the type of players that you want back defending those type of situations, because set pieces were not the scenario that OKC were creating much danger from. It was all on the counter and just using the forward's pace to get in behind. We didn't look ever too bothered by free kicks or corners. So Real back on the ball here. Locomotive just kind of losing control of the game in the last 5 to 7 minutes, and kind of letting Monarchs have the ball a little bit more, unable to put them under as much pressure.
I agree, and it's a matter of they do have to get that ball back and possess it. I think Monarchs is trying to push up a little bit more, realizing that maybe a little bit of pressure is going to bug the Locomotives as well.
Yeah, Locomotive have a player down. I think it's actually, I think it was Gebhard down there on the right, just tracking back. He's back on his feet, though. Monarchs back on the ball, and it's another situation where we try to play out and can't really break as Mishak deals with that situation fairly simply. Another cynical foul on Gebhard.
And feels like they are trying to target our strikers a little bit there.
Yeah, it's Luis Palma again, and he already got a talking to from the ref for the same type of foul. And it's just, I don't know. At what point is the ref going to take action? Because we played 20 minutes. He's already been talked to, and then he commits another cynical foul. So I think at some point you've got to have the guts to give a card. I know it's only 20 minutes in, but if a player is going to consistently foul like that, you've got to punish him for it. Good ball for Omar to latch onto. Does really well here. He's kind of isolated, doesn't have a lot of help. Now players arriving. He's done well to cut onto his left. What a play from Salgado to turn that into something as Ryan sprays it out left for Kiffy. Fox running ahead of him. Fox with a chance to deliver a cross, and it'll be out for a corner. Sliding intervention there from the Monarchs player, and another set piece chance for Locomotive to try to make count.
Very refreshing to see Omar come down with that ball. No one in the area to go ahead and help him out and get out of that situation.
I think you're almost forgiven for forgetting that Omar actually is pretty quick as well and skillful on the ball, because he's a big guy, big striker, but you can see there in that moment he's got tons of skill and plenty of pace to get around players. Corner taken from Ryan, flicked on at the near post. It was Mishak, I think, running onto it. Just directs it over.
Was on that corner trying to go for that far post.
Yeah, you got to get a glance when you're arriving like that. Just try to direct it, and he just gets under it a little bit, puts it over the bar. But Locomotive creating opportunities once again. Haven't converted one yet, but signs are promising in these opening 20 minutes.
Definitely, it's nice to see a refreshing change of pace for the Locomotives here, trying to attack a little bit more. I want to say we've dominated possession for a good 12 to 13 minutes of the 22 minutes played, which is very nice to see. We got that quick foul there.
And now Palma down under the challenge from Rebayon. I don't know. I'd have to see the replay, but it didn't look like there was a lot in it. I thought Rebayon did well to win the ball. And Palma down in a lot of pain. It's not to say that Palma's not hurt. It's certainly possible. He looks in a lot of pain, but I thought it was a good tackle from Rebayon.
No, it looks like Palma took a knee there from Rebayon into the inner knee.
Yeah, it looks like just an impact.
It looks like he took that knee into his inner thigh, but it looks like he was grabbing his ankle on the way down. So I'm not sure if he's trying to bring out his inner Neymar there or.
Rebayon, it did look like he won the ball, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen if he's been booked for that. I sure hope not, based on the fact that it's basically his first foul of the game.
I have not seen a card come out yet.
No, I really don't think. I think his ankle is definitely hurt on that, but I don't think Brian actually makes all that much contact with Palma.
It seems more like Palma went ahead and stepped on Rebayon on that one.
Yeah, I can't really tell. I think his ankle definitely is like in an awkward angle during that challenge, but I don't know that a lot of it is Rebayon's fault.
Not to completely agree. That was a great challenge by Rebayon, and it just feels like somebody taking the wrong step brings you down to the ground.
Yeah. It will be a Salt Lake free kick once all this is cleared up. They still haven't moved. They still haven't moved Palma off the field to give him treatment. So plenty of stoppage time due in at the end of this one. At the end of this half, I'm sure.
No, definitely. It looks like somebody might be coming on for him.
Yeah, it does look like Palma will be replaced. Looking to see who that is.
Looks like it's going to be
Kocher.
I had him down as hacker. I don't know why.
Yeah, I did too. 55. Kocher coming in. It looks like Luis Palma will be unable to continue after that challenge. He's being carried off, so I don't doubt that he's hurt. I just do think that it was a 50-50 ball, and he's just come out on the wrong end of it.
No, definitely, I agree, and it's just one of those. It's a soccer play.
Yeah.
Rebellion, I feel like, came in with a very clean challenge. Just a matter of Palma taking a wrong step there.
Yeah, and it does happen. Is Jack Blake, the former Armada man and Real Monarchs captain, stands over the free kick, and it does look like we'll be restarting play. USL's graphics department killing it again as they show the New York Red Bulls 2 logo on the substitution. So yeah, it's early. It's the first kickoff of the day. They're still getting in their stride, I think.
I think they may have just gotten mixed up a little bit with the uniforms.
Yeah, true. As Monarchs looking to create something down the right. Little interchange here. Well dealt with by Yuma in the end, and a little bit of a rough challenge there. I kind of thought a foul would be given, but it's in the end dealt with by Locomotive, cleared. Monarchs coming back and put out behind by Andrew Fox. Really, really kind of scrappy period of play there. A lot sloppier than what we've seen in these opening 25 minutes.
No, definitely, and I feel that was a little right the way Yuma was playing it there. Very well with the nice clearance.
And another free kick given here. Blake was standing over it again. I think Yuma is protesting his innocence because it did look soft, and I think he's probably making the case that he didn't actually make any contact with the Real Monarchs player there.
Oh, definitely, as we get a shot of the first notch there.
Hey, I mean, credit to them for sticking it out and showing up. It's I know it's tough for a lot of the MLS 2 sides in terms of the attendance and all that, but yeah, it's not the best showing, but credit to those guys for getting out there and braving the 90 minutes for to keep the drums going. I can respect that. Free kick here. Oh, it's spilled in front, and it's just a mishit from Monarchs. Gebhard trying to get out. He puts it into the stands. That free kick looked extremely dangerous. Does it come off the post?
That does come off the post.
Yeah, he doesn't get anything to it, and it was Tate Schmidt running in who just miskicks the volley and can't put away the rebound.
A little worrying there, seeing that nobody was there to go ahead and help Ketterer on the front of the goal there. Very nice to see him throw himself out there for that ball, though. Yeah,
he went all out to try to save that one, saved by the post in the end, and Locomotive a little lucky to not concede there, as Tate Schmidt was first to that rebound and had an open net to aim at. Just didn't make the right contact. As they're in behind again, is an offside flag going to go up? It is against Tate Schmidt. Thankfully, there, as he was looking to create something dangerous, but he did look well offside.
No, definitely. We do have Julian Avila coming up in the chat. Very early Locomotives. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Julian. I agree with you that Palma initiated more of the contact in that challenge. So definitely no wrongdoing by Rebellon. I don't believe he was booked. I never saw a card come out. So I think he escapes any type of punishment there, as Omar's down under the challenge, but nothing doing. And we've seen, I don't know, I think fouls are trending a little bit more one way than the other, as this ball is curled towards the back post. Fox able to get to that first and then clears it well downfield. Omar will chase this one. It's in no man's land for the defender to deal with. He kind of flicks it over his own head. Not the most convincing defending, but Monarchs able to deal with it. Chip it forward again. Again, it's a little... The game's gotten away from Locomotive a little bit here. Not really controlling the way they did in the opening about 15 as we head towards the half-hour mark.
It would have been nice to see Omar play a little more aggressive towards that ball. But yeah, Locomotives do need to possess this ball a little bit more, slow down the pace. Monarchs have had a couple shots on goal, which is a little worrying. Hopefully Yuma and Richie can go ahead and slow the game down here in the midfield.
As Yuma, it looked like he played a good ball out there wide for Kiffy, but Kiffy not able to get a toe to it and bring it under control. So again, ball given away a little bit cheaply, and Monarchs have possession again. Their left back is Andrew Brody, or right back is Andrew Brody, but I keep wanting to say Adrian Brody.
I don't know. I feel like just based off that first change there with Catcher that they may have messed up a little on the graphics there as well.
Oh yeah. It's in terms of his name being Hatcher, because I had it written down as an H as well.
I'm very interested to see how that's going to affect us here on the right side for the Locomotives with Palma out of the game now after especially those two very questionable early fouls.
Right. Ketterer out to deal with that ball down the line. Omar looks to bring it down. He's got options here. Omar, was he brought down? No. Ref says play on.
Nice to see Contreras go after that ball after losing possession there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's been interesting opening half hour. Mark, you can see out of his seat. He's spends a lot of his time on his feet in the technical area. So you're going to see Mark in the camera shot quite a bit, I think, directing things and just letting people know what's going on and what they can do to get things back under control. Cause I'm sure he won't have been too happy with the last about 15 minutes.
Definitely, after seeing, us very possessing the ball, very heavy first 15 minutes attacking, putting that pressure on, it seems like the game has gone away from us. Oh, here we go.
Opportunity here. Gebhard in behind. Can he bring this down? He's been brought down.
That's got to be a booking.
It should be a red. It's a denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity. He should be off here. He's the last man.
There it is. Red card.
And there is the red. Real Monarchs reduced to 10 men. It looked like Kalen Ryden actually was the offender, and it was Kalen Ryden, the former Mark Lowry player for Jacksonville Armada, brings down Derek Gebhard when he was through on goal. And Real Monarchs will play the remaining 60 minutes with 10 men.
That's definitely not a questionable foul at all. Last defensive player available. Gebhard getting away with the ball there, pushes him straight down.
Pushes him in the back, and you can never do that. Gebhard was in there looking for his second. Kalen Ryden off 32 minutes into the game. And, what a change this could be as a central defender sent off for Monarchs. It'll be interesting to see if they have to make a change based on that sending off. And this is a free kick in a dangerous area, as well as Omar scored a free kick for Las Vegas last season from a similar position. Absolute screamer. So I'm sure him and Mishak will be arguing over who wants to take this one, as Mishak Jerome, capable of a screamer himself.
I think very interesting, as we saw Jerome take one against Oklahoma last week, who almost did put it in the net. It's a matter of the wall not jumping. It looks like Contreras is lining up as well.
Yeah, they're 3 men over it. So Contreras, Salgado, and Mishak Jerome all wanting a piece of this one. Ooh. Contreras to curl it, and the keeper saw it all the way. Just not the power required. Good placement on the free kick, though.
Agreed. It's a very good placement on it. Would have liked to see a little more power. Like I said, I would have liked to see a little cheeky play there with the three of them on the ball there.
Yeah, I think maybe lay it off to Jerome to just hit it as hard as he can from that far out. Tough for a keeper to react to something like that. but Locomotive back on the ball. They are up a man, and now you have to think that anything but a win is a problem. As a foul called against Gebhard here, Rebellion was waiting to run away with the ball. Didn't look like there was a whole lot wrong with that either, but Gebhard adjudged for the foul.
I feel a matter of just, it looked like Gebhard's leg was just kind of swinging around there. I didn't see any contact except on the ball.
Yeah.
It looked like just an eyeball foul there.
Yeah, this almost, the sending off almost ratchets up the pressure on Locomotive in terms of now with the man advantage, you pretty much have to win when you play with an hour of a additional player.
No, definitely, and I'm very interested to see how Monarchs are going to play this, as they've already used one of their 3 available subs, to see if they are going to go ahead and make a change there to bring extra help on the back line.
Yeah, I mean, based on this, it does look like they'll try to, this ball's rolled in, dangerous situation, curled over the bar in the end. I think it was Catcher, the substitute, who was on the end of that one, and a little bit of a self-inflicted situation there from El Paso, as I think the throw-in probably should have been dealt with, but that good reverse pass, and I mean, Catcher should be probably doing better with that right on the penalty spot, about 12 yards out.
Definitely, I think just trying to go for a little more finesse shot than just trying to put it in there. But it's nice to see that we got a little lucky there when they caught us sleeping.
It is nice to see us concede a shot and have it not be a goal, because it just felt like last week every time OKC shot, it was in the back of the net. So refreshing to see it not happen for Real Monarchs so far.
Oh,
Gebhard brought down again on the edge of the area. Was nothing given?
Right.
No foul given.
Is really letting them play today.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's tough because now that he has given the red card, is El Paso going to get much love from the referee the rest of the game? That's kind of the issue there. I'd have to see it back to see how much contact there was. It did look like there was an awful lot as Derek tried to deliver that ball in from wide. Definitely a dangerous situation for El Paso, and I think they're growing back into the game here. The red card's definitely giving them some impetus to go forward and attack. Long ball chip forward. Omar's in space. Can Omar do something with this? He brings it down, looks to turn the defender, looks to get it onto his left, and the shot in the end is tame and straight at Ochoa in goal.
I feel like Omar was trying to rush that a little bit. If he would have taken his time, let some couple guys come up, we could have had something going there.
Yeah, it's that was a tough one, as well as a better pass and a better touch gives him a shooting opportunity immediately. As it took him a little wide, and he had to bring it under control a little bit too much. But a good spot of that pass forward, and again, Omar getting into dangerous positions in this one. That's twice now that he's been able to run onto balls in behind, which we did not see in the opener.
No, definitely, and it's to be interesting here. We got a change coming up here.
Yeah, another substitution. It is going to be Akumu on for is that Tate Schmidt being brought off, I believe.
Looks like one of the MLS guys.
Yeah, so they're bringing off one of their strikers, Tate Schmidt, who had probably the best opportunity of the game on that rebound. They're bringing him off to shore things up in defense. They were playing, you could see, with three defenders up to this point. So it looks like they've brought on a center back to drop back to a four-man back line. And now you have to feel like Real Monarchs are just going to try to play that sit back and counter. As this ball is into the box, Akumu has something to deal with immediately, puts it out, I think, for a throw.
It looks like
Locomotive getting forward again.
I'm interested to see how Monarchs are going to play this, already using 2 out of their 3 subs before half.
Yeah. Contreras now on the throw in. He's looking to get to the byline, deliver a cross, and it's deflected behind. It looked like a corner to me. It looked like a corner. I thought it went right of the corner flag, but I think a throw has been given. The signal from the referee was for a throw, as Fox will take this and restart play. Locomotive's first ever goal was created off of a throw in, actually, and some sublime skill from Contreras as he's done pretty well there too, but then given away. Contreras with some nifty feet again comes out to Ryan that plays it across to Yuma. Rebayon cutting inside. Sliding tackle from Monarchs, not able to win it. And you got to think that a goal before halftime would really be the icing on the cake here for Locomotive, who have been the better team consistently and created more, but just haven't had that last pass or that finish required to grab the goal.
No, definitely. It looks like Chiro was trying to play that long ball there with Gebhardt, just a little overshot here. But we really need to see a little more pressure and more possession game here for the Locomotives.
Yeah, absolutely. They are definitely trying to up the tempo, it seems like. Locomotive here, as now I think they feel that they've got a really big opportunity here with an additional man. And they are going to have to be careful, just like last week with OKC. OKC was happy to sit back and let Locomotive have the ball. I think you're about to see the same thing from the 10 men playing for Monarchs. They're going to look to play on the counter. They'll have a couple of forwards chasing the ball, as you see right here. But you're not going to see a ton of pressure, as they're going to have that as they're playing with 10 men, and they're not going to want to get beat. Especially at home, they're going to try to just make sure that this ends, 0-0, or maybe they'll shoot for a 1-0 with kind of a counter-attacking goal. But you have to think their style changes a bit down a man.
No, definitely. And you do see a little bit more here as we get towards the end of the first half. They're trying to keep the ball midfield back line, trying to possess the ball a little bit more, being a man down.
Yeah, I think you see them just trying to get to halftime. They've been under pressure. Locomotive have been dangerous in a couple of situations, but Monarchs have been too. The main dangerous man is not on the field anymore, Tate Schmidt. So has looked to create something here. Nice little one-touch passes and a foul given in the end for that challenge on Sebastian Contreras. Can see the substitute there, Akumu. He's been thrust into the action after the red card from Kalen Ryden in the 30th minute.
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to see Locomotive try to play that advantage. Would have liked to see a little more control there, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and take that free kick and reset.
Yep, and they again, patience from Locomotive as Rebayon opts to play it all the way back to Ketterer. I think that's what you're gonna see throughout this game is we're now gonna try to put the stranglehold on the game and really possess things and control things. Not let Monarchs have any room to play, and we're going to try to create that pressure and create problems for their back line. Chip ball forward, not really creating much. I think the offside flag is up against Derek there as he tried to run in behind.
Great idea there to try to get that ball to Gebhardt. Offside flag does come up. Very interesting to see Contreras be running around the field there. It seems like he's everywhere, wherever the ball is.
Yeah, he certainly seeks out the game. He finds where he can affect it the most, and I think that's one of his best qualities is he just always has that sense. It seems to be able to find where he can have the biggest impact, and whether that's streaming forward or whether it's dropping a little bit deeper in order to get possession and influence the game a little bit more. He is not afraid to roam around that midfield and find the space.
No, definitely. And I think when they brought out the line of cards, I had him on the right side of the field. I've seen him more playing on the left side of the field. We got that ball coming down to Rebayon.
Long ball to Rebayon. Rebayon to deliver one, headed away. Not super convincingly, but it'll be kicked away by the substitute, Kacher. It's brought down by Douglas Martinez, who's kind of playing by himself up top now that Schmidt's come off. Long ball in behind. The substitute onto this one. Kacher has a chance. Well dealt with by Rebayon as well. It'll be a throw, but that was really well done from Loco's right back.
way to handle that counterattack, and nice to see Real get back to his spot after that cross in. And another player I think we've been seeing coming up and down the field, not roaming a whole lot, but just playing that wing very well, letting Gebhardt get in a little more in the box.
Yeah, Rebaillon is all the way up and down that line, and that energetic style is certainly something that I think Locomotive fans would get used to seeing as Rebaillon plays more and more in because I think that right back position is more or less his, and he's showing just the amount of energy that he brings to the game, getting up and down the wing. He's putting in a cross at one end and then tracking all the way back to stop a counter, just a few seconds later. Opportunity to get forward here from Locomotive. Contreras deep again. Long ball forward looking for Gebhardt. Gebhardt's causing some problems. He brings it down off the chest. He's got a chance here. Oh, and he skies it over. He looked to go for power. And Derek Gebhardt, the scorer of Locomotive's first and so far only goal in franchise history, skies one over the bar there with a good opportunity in behind after a really good take off the chest.
Very nice to see Gebhardt being able to control that ball right off his chest. I'd love to see that confidence from our strikers trying to put the ball in the net. He did have Omar tracking down the field as well, but I just feel like that was a position he had the defender beat and felt maybe he could have gone a little closer in on goal there.
Yeah, I don't mind him taking the shot on, but if you're in behind like that, you just have to make the opportunity that creates a shot on target, and it just bounced up. It sat up nicely for him to strike it, but he just gets underneath it and doesn't quite generate the that downward force that you need to kind of get that dip to get it under the bar.
Definitely, I feel like again he controlled it very well, nicely, and we'll see how they play it here on this throw-in with Rebaillon coming down again, playing on that wing.
Yeah, more pressure from Locomotive as the half is coming close to an end. Omar's looking to turn his man here, and ball kind of cannons off of a Locomotive player and lands at the feet of Rebaillon. Rebaillon looking to get past his man. Contreras has dropped out to the right now. He's got Yuma behind him in support. Contreras trying to get to the byline, chips in a low cross, and it's deflected behind for a corner actually before it got to the keeper. So it will be a Locomotive corner. 3 minutes have been added on as well. That lengthy stoppage in the first half for the injury to Palma contributing most. And it looks like we've got about 2 minutes of the added time still to play and a corner kick here. I think it's about our fifth of the game.
It looks like Yuma's taking it again. It looks like he will be the guy taking the corners on the right side of the field. Yeah. Very interesting how he's going to want to cross this in with Contreras right next to him.
Yeah, Contreras is short, and just pointing out that the Real Monarchs players are closer than 10 yards, and now Ochoa, the keeper, is on the ground. Not really sure what happened there.
Might be trying to get a little time going. Not sure how the sun is out there in Salt Lake.
Trying to get a rest. Yuma standing over this one, the experienced Spanish midfielder. Low cross towards the edge of the area, mishit from Richie Ryan with the left foot. You can see what they were going for there. It was one of those training ground type corners where they were looking for that hit from the edge of the area from Ryan.
Right, nice to see Richie trying to get that ball to go in just outside of the box. Just hit it a little wrong with the ball coming in. Would have been nice to see that one go in.
Jerome chips the ball forward, looking for Kiffy, and a foul given against Kiffy there. It looked like he was kind of protecting himself against the onrushing defender there. I think it was Andrew Brody coming onto the ball, and it looked like he put his arms out just to kind of protect himself from the collision, and Brody went down.
Definitely, and I think Kiffy was just trying to bring that ball down as well. As they think they may have gone in for a high leg there.
Yeah, and so Ochoa over this one, he'll look to boot it deep and try to wind down the remaining stoppage time. I would say there probably should be time added on for how long it took to take that corner with Ochoa going to ground and everything. As Omar does really well to bring the ball down. He's streaming forward. He's got a man to his right, and it's taken out, I think, for a corner. It should be another corner. Salgado doing really well to get in behind. He couldn't really fashion the cross that he wanted, and Locomotive take this one quickly to get things started again. Kiffy gets to the byline, tries to create another cross, and it's out for a goal kick. off of Kiffy, and I think that may well do it for this first half. I'd be shocked if they add too much on, but I think he is leaving a little bit of time for the stoppage that occurred on that corner and how long it took to take that.
Very interesting to see the Locomotives play that corner very quick. Would have been nice to see them go ahead and take their time on it, as that probably would have been the last kick of the half.
Yeah.
But go halftime 0-0.
Yep, that is it. That is it for the first half, and it is 0-0. Sending off on 30 minutes for Real Monarchs. Kalen Ryden sent off for a challenge on Derek Gebhard when he was through on goal. El Paso fashioning the better of the chances, although Tate Schmidt had a pretty good chance from a free kick that struck the post to finish on the rebound. Omar Salgado with a big chance where he almost pulled off one of the goals of the season with a chip, but it just went wide early on, and Gebhard with a big chance towards the end of the half when he got in behind and skied over the bar. So lots of chances both ways. It looks like Monarchs are having a lot of conversation with the referee about the sending off, I assume, but I don't think they can have many complaints. I don't know, Austin, if you think they think they can have much to complain about with that sending off.
No, definitely. I feel like this game has been called very, very well in a way from a ref. There has been a couple questionable fouls that should have been called. Red card, very clear in the 32nd minute. Gebhard was the last man. Ryden was the last defender available. Pushes him down from the back. No question about it. I think you ask any soccer fan, they would have told you that was clear. But definitely interesting first half. Locomotives, I would say, possessed that ball. Maybe 2/3 of that half. Did lose a little bit of control there about the middle part of the half there. But nice to see towards the end getting that groove back and seeing what kind of adjustments Mark is going to make.
Yeah, I think obviously a lot of the play has gone down the wings. There's been a lot of space for our wing players, both fullbacks and the wingers as well. We've seen Derek try to get central a few times, and he's gotten in behind as they failed to track his run in from wide positions. I think it's something that they have to continue to exploit. If you were to make a change, between 45 and 60 minutes, who's that first man off the bench to change things for Locomotive for you?
Maybe one of the only changes I'd like to see, maybe bring Descendus in, maybe bring a little more attacking in, just because we do have that one-man advantage coming in. It was nice to see a little bit of it, but at the moment, I can't see anybody really coming off. They seem to be gelling very well. It'd be very interesting to see if Mark makes any changes, if he does, and with who.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see any early changes in the second half. I think he'll go back into the locker room and say, this is what we did well. We played best when we had the ball and were able to press and win it back in their half. So do that, keep hold of the ball. Don't get sloppy with it, especially in our own half. I think he's going to want them to slow things down a little bit. But yeah, my only change, and I think you give it till 60 to see if things kind of change from there. You get Kiffy off at either for Resende or Edson Partida out there on the left, and that maybe just brings kind of a different dimension to our attack. But I wouldn't do that before 60 minutes, because as you said, I mean, things have been going fairly well. It's just about the finish and ultimately about that final pass, which I think it's only a matter of time before things go right.
And I agree. I think it's just going to be a matter of getting Omar and Gebhard to get that ball in the back of the net. They've both clearly have had many opportunities in the first half. I'm interested to see if we do get that first goal here in the second half, if Mark's going to make any defensive changes, maybe bring in Navarro on, possibly Choppa to help out there in the midfield. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Mark's going to play this, considering once we do get that first goal in the second half.
Yeah, for you guys that are watching, let us know what you thought of the first half in the chat. We'll get a discussion going, and yeah, I think overall just a very positive half from Locomotive. A couple of moments that were a little dicey, as as we kind of lost our stranglehold on the game, but overall defensively the game has actually gone extremely well in my opinion, and we've got those opportunities at the other end. So the game plan has more or less worked. Now that we have the man advantage, I think it's about making that game plan stick and making those chances count.
Definitely, and I feel like with the larger pitch here in Salt Lake, we do see a little more long balls coming from the Locomotives, which was very different from last week. I do feel like that has a lot to play with the size of the pitch, but you still see that very possession-heavy game in the midfield, and getting those long balls into our strikers to go and create those opportunities. Honestly, I feel like Rebellon has really come out and played today. As we did mention earlier in the first half, he'd come down, put that cross in, and get back to his spot on the right back, right as the counter's coming down. So I'm hoping that doesn't come back and hurt us, but it's very nice to see them going ahead and hustle out there.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I think we'll definitely see from the kickoff. I think going back in the locker room and everything, I think the team will come out, and the words from the coach will be, you've played well, you've got the man advantage, like get out there and just make them pay, like make them feel the pressure. And I think from that second half whistle, it's just going to be about 5 to 10 minutes of El Paso just pressing hard to get that goal, which would give them just so much of an advantage because, obviously you have to score to win. But additionally, the fact that Real will then be looking to equalize, and with a man advantage, with that man down, they're going to be trying to break out and attack. And now you've got even more opportunities on the counter. So I think those first 5 to 10 minutes, we'll see Locomotive come out and just absolutely get after it to try and get that goal.
No, excuse me. Definitely, and I feel like we're going to see we're going to be pressuring a lot like we did in the first 12 minutes of this first half. I'm hoping to see that be more consistent throughout the second half. We did see it kind of come down. I don't know if these guys got a little tired and dropped back a bit, but we're definitely seeing with that man advantage, they're going to be pressuring a lot more and hopefully get a couple more opportunities, a couple more shots on goal.
Yeah, it was just from a stats perspective. Prior to the sending off, we had just the 2 shots, both off target, which was Omar, and the header from Mishak Jerome over the bar. And then since the red card, we've had 3 shots, 2 off target and 1 on target. So 5 total shots in the first half. Not a bad start. I think Mark will be looking for a little bit more offensive output in the second half. But if we generate those type of chances, you'd have to think that at least 1 or 2 of them's getting put away.
Definitely, and we're hoping that we can go in and get these 3 points today and get part of our mark and go definitely put that ball in the back of the net. And definitely with the opportunities we've seen, it's very possible. Hopefully we can get a couple more crosses and a couple very nice plays at the top of the penalty area and hopefully come away with those 3 points today.
Yep, it will be interesting to see. I think as we wait for the second half to get started, we'll just take a quick break. I'm gonna grab a second half beverage, and we'll get ready to kick things off for the second half in a little bit. So stick with us. All right, I'm back in, and I'm sure that a lot of the discussion in on the Salt Lake side is that they probably feel like the sending off was harsh, and they probably feel like they deserved more out of the first half. But I don't know. I think on the balance of things, 0-0 is probably fair, or any type of draw right now is fair, with the one big chance that they kind of spurned, and now they'll be trying to just kind of hold on with 10.
All right. Looks like the second half is getting ready to start here shortly.
Yep. Yeah, the team is back out onto the field. Both teams heading out for the second half kickoff there in Utah.
We got the kids coming out with the Fortnite dances there.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, if you're a kid at a sporting event in 2019, you're breaking out the floss at least. Yeah, the team's just getting warmed up here for the second half. I think with the amount of running that a lot of these guys did, I don't think there would be too much need for a warm up. But as there was pretty high energy in that first half.
No, definitely. And it's going to be very interesting to see how they come out, like we we're discussing at halftime. Hopefully they come out with the same amount of pressure they did in the first half, and being able to go ahead and hopefully get the Monarchs to get a couple early mistakes and capitalize on them.
Yeah, absolutely. The fans with the Thunder Sticks eagerly awaiting the start of the second half, as more conversation with the referee going on. It was Catcher there with some more words for the ref, and a kid with a Minecraft blanket in the stands freaking out.
I'm very interested to see how these crowds look, especially on an MLS game day with these MLS 2 squads. Obviously, I personally expect to see a bigger crowd, considering that Real is playing at DC United.
Right.
I'm very interested to see how they usually are, if this is just because it's a day game.
Yeah, I think the early kickoff certainly doesn't do them too many favors in terms of the amount of people. But yeah, I think in the future, especially when the senior team is away, I think you'll probably see some better crowds as they do, promotions for those games. I'm sure they have deals for Real Salt Lake season ticket holders and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it. I mean, it's I think it's nice to see, especially when you get to see academy and development players come up to the system. So
yeah, absolutely. and it looks like we're about to get back underway.
Make some noise, Locomotive.
Yeah, shout out to Eighth Notch out at the Palomino, watching this one. I know from my side, I'll be back down there when the match is done, and go hang out. Hopefully for a celebratory drink or two as Real Monarchs get things started here in the second half, and immediately look for that long ball over the top. It looks like they'll just marshal this one back to Ketterer. Could see the wind kind of play a factor there. That ball moved pretty strangely in the air, so I'm not sure if that's been a factor in the first half too. I know there's a lot of talk in English soccer about the effects of wind in recent games, but not too much, I don't think, being made of the wind in Salt Lake today.
No, definitely, and it looks like USL still hasn't corrected their mistake. We are still the Paso Locomotive.
Loca. That's the women's team when it starts in a couple of years. That's but long ball forward, Ochoa able to collect that one for Real Monarchs. And Yeah, they're gonna play these long balls. It looks like and it looks like a foul given there against Fox as he went up for that header. Just a little bit too much holding of the Monarchs attacker there. But they are going to play those balls, look to get set pieces, I think, and just generally play very direct. And Locomotive's going to have to be ready to deal with that.
Definitely a very questionable foul by Fox. They're not sure why he felt the need to go and bring the player down. He clearly had won that ball. But it's going to be very interesting to see the way they've come out here in the first couple minutes, how the Locomotives are going to play this. I expect a little more possession heavy. And you did mention it seems like they are playing a little bit more long ball.
Yeah. Monarchs looking to get one out wide, and Fox able to deal with that one out for a Monarchs throw. Yeah, Monarchs having a little bit of the ball here. El Paso not able to break out, but good challenge there. That was actually Kiffy out there. Good challenge, and wins the throw. And hopefully here, this will start a good spell of El Paso Locomotive possession, because that is what they will crave en route to the opening goal, which hopefully is not too long coming. Long ball down the line, looking for Contreras, I think, who had drifted out there all the way back through to Ochoa, who eventually picks it up under pressure from Omar. Ochoa urging. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just it's very weird seeing that not them coming out with that possession game. They are trying to switch plays, get that possession going. It's very on Mark Lowry to go ahead and be playing this for the first couple minutes of second half that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's basically the opposite of what we said, so it goes to show what we know, huh? I'm sure they've spotted some vulnerabilities in terms of those balls in behind, because that was where we created the most dangerous situations in the first half, were from those balls out of midfield or even from the fullbacks down the line and in behind. So I'm sure they've seen something there, and they're looking to create things out of that type of situation. But in the meantime, they're playing out from the back here. Kiffy's come back to receive that ball from Chiro, and now it's worked its way through midfield. Ryan with a kind of a misdirected pass and intercepted. Now they'll look to launch a counter. Ketterer's got this one.
That ball over to Contreras to try to get something going there.
Yeah, it was the idea of that reverse pass was good. Contreras does really well to win the ball there and weave it through, but can't quite find Ryan on the end of it. That was really well done from the Argentinian attacking mid.
Contreras, again, the second half, really all over the field there, putting that pressure on the goalie. I'm wondering if that's going to go and take a toll on him as we get to the later part of the game.
Yeah, it could. He's put in a lot of running. This ball in behind, it looks like Gebhard's on the end of it. He's got a chance. Maybe he'll put a cross in, cuts it back. It's to Yuma to deliver one towards the circle for Salgado. Calls for handball there as it bounced up and looked to strike the Real Monarchs defender on the arm. Could have been a penalty. Referee waves away the protest, though. Chiro able to deal with that long ball. It was actually Mishak Jerome, pardon me, but well done there. It'll be interesting if they show that replay, because it was Omar and Contreras holding their hands up for a handball given, but nothing doing.
Too bad we're not blessed with the VAR system here in the USL.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little while before we see something like that in USL, but maybe not too long. Once now MLS has it going, so I'm sure once the stadiums are outfitted for it, you'll see it more often as this ball's weaved through. Well done. It's Kiffy onto his right. Shot's blocked. Contreras tries to direct a shot in, and he's a really late high challenge, I thought, by is that Eric Holt, I think, in central defense for Real Monarchs. The deflected shot came down. Contreras tried to strike it and just gets stamped on there by Eric Holt. I don't think there's any intent there from the Salt Lake defender, but it's definitely a sore one for Seb.
No, definitely. Taking any kind of cleat to your leg really hurts, as I've known from personal experience. And We'll definitely see. It's nice to see a little bit more pressure coming from the Locomotives here in the first 6 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we've just crossed the 50-minute mark, and not quite, I think, the intensity that we expected to see in the opening 5, but Locomotive starting to grow into the second half, I think, and create some dangerous situations. As Kiffy's got options here, opted to go wide for Omar, who was offside, and Seb will try to rescue that and can't quite get there.
Contreras almost there to go and save that ball there.
Yeah, that was really well done, and good effort. You can see, as you've been saying, like he is just all over the place. And I think the offside flag was up in the end against Omar based on where they're taking this free kick from. So the flag did go up in the end. He knew he was offside. That's why he didn't pursue that ball at all. He was trying to let the play continue.
I'm very interested to see is why they didn't go ahead and let that be a goal kick, as Contreras was the one that still chased it down as when he was the one onside.
Yeah, it's a little strange that, because I don't think Omar's particularly affecting that play, but another attacking situation here for Locomotive through Rebayon, looking for Gebhardt. Well, it was actually Yuma who had gotten forward, noted by his unique locks, as Monarchs look for a ball in behind, and Mishak does really, really well to deal with that and then just safely head it back for Ketterer. Locomotive head back the other way.
Mishak, another player who's been doing very well today. He's been handling his back line very well. A couple great challenges and very smart veteran play right there just to get that ball back to Ketterer.
Now Gebhardt looking to get down the line and fouled again. He has been an absolute handful for these Real Monarchs defenders, and it's Noah Powder, the left back, who commits the foul. Known more for, I think, Noah Powder last season played at Orange County, which one of the better teams in the West, and he's made his way into the Real Salt Lake Academy system here. But 3 goals and 2 assists last season for Orange County, having to do a lot more defending today against Derek Gebhardt, especially on that one.
No, definitely. I mean, Gebhardt did have his hand full earlier with Potman. It looks like Powder's been the one that's been having to handle him the rest of the game.
Real Monarchs able to clear that one only as far as Mishak, who immediately sprays it out right to get things restarted. Not the best delivery on the free kick, but this ball forward looking for Omar, cleared desperately by Monarchs, and Locomotive just, you can kind of feel just ramping up the pressure slightly, kind of minute by minute.
And definitely, and maybe that's that's the right way to approach it, not bring on the full-on attack right out the gate, but definitely build it up, see where Monarchs are going to go and be giving them the holes, and that one-man advantage is clearly showing here in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, Chiro linking up with Mishak. Mishak looking for that ball in behind. It's actually it's a good spot on that run from Derek out on the right, but Ochoa was wise to it and able to collect it. He's looking to restart play. He can't find an outlet for the throw, and eventually, after a little 1-2, he just kicks it high up into the Utah sky, and I think the sun was giving people some fits there, as you know, the game's being played just after noon, basically. So the sun is nice and high right now. So any ball up in the air is going to be extremely hard to see as the flag goes up against Gebhardt out there on the right.
Very uncharacteristic to see a Locomotive today with a couple offsides called, none of which we saw last week.
Yeah,
it's very showing that they're trying to play that long ball type style today.
Yeah, I think it also is just showing that, you know, Monarchs are playing a little bit higher line, and they you know, OKC was dropped extremely deep at times in last week's game. So it is going to be something that we try to exploit, but it is also something that if the linesman's on it, then you may have a tough day if they try to play that offside trap against you, and it worked against Derek in that case. Nice little interchange there. Can Seb get on the end of it? He can. He's got options in the box. Sebastian Contreras rolled forward. It's taken off the defender, and Ochoa was smart to it. really well done. Contreras just stayed with the play after the defender kind of took it away from his own keeper. Really scrappy play there. Contreras, in a couple of moments, just hasn't been able to find that final pass. He did really well just to stick with things there and nearly created an opportunity off of that press.
Would have been nice to see him lift that ball up, as we did see Omar free on that back post there. If he would have just brought that ball up a little bit, it might have gone to him and get that ball in the net.
Yeah. Locomotive have grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck once again. Good ball forward from Jerome to break the lines there, and Gebhard's getting down the right once again, cutting inside. Derek Gebhard drops it off. Foul on the edge of the area, not given. I think it was Contreras on the edge of the area, and he was brought down. It looked like a foul. Ref waves play on, and eventually it's out for a Monarchs throw after some good pressure in midfield from Locomotive.
Not much left in the refs today. I'm not sure if that red card has anything to go in and play with it, but many questionable calls that should have been called here so far today.
Yeah, that was right on the edge of the area as well. Pretty interesting. And again, we're not getting a lot of replays of contentious moments on the Locomotive side, because the way that USL produces these, it is a local broadcast team. It's a local production. And so a lot of the handball that was appealed for by Omar, that foul on the edge of the area, we're not getting replays of any of these moments. It's only the moments that are contentious, towards Real Monarchs, like the red card or the Palma injury. Those are the only things we're getting replays of because of the local production team. And now a foul's been given there. Again, didn't see a lot in this from Kiffy, but I'm sure we'll see about 3 replays of it.
Looks like we got Chang down on the ground.
Yeah, it's
challenge.
Yeah, Michael Chang after that challenge from Kiffy. It looks like a substitution is being readied, and it is actually going to be Yuma coming off for Nick Ross. So this could be a little bit of an attacking change for Lowry as he brings the experienced Spanish central midfielder off. He is much more known as a holding midfielder. Ross maybe a little more dynamic, and maybe he's looking for that game-changing presence in the center of the park. But it is the first substitution right on 59 minutes.
No, definitely, and that's something that we did see last week. We are back to a lineup that we did see with Ross in there last week. He did bring a lot of attacking mentality, a lot of good crosses coming in from Ross last week. So it'd be interesting to see what he brings in today.
Yeah, Ross is a little bit more dynamic of a presence, and you'll see him drop into wide positions, especially on the right, to be able to influence the game a little bit more as Chiro heads that long ball down, and Kiffy getting involved to just work it back to Ketterer through Fox, and try to build from the back here. Monarchs keeping the press on, and Chiro trying to work that ball out, but kind of mishit it a little bit. Good win of the ball, though. I think it's Kiffy actually running through the center of the park and lays it off back for Kiffy. Tries to play it down the line. Gebhard's chasing this one. You can see the speed to make up the ground on that one. It looked like it was well out of Gebhard's reach, and he actually puts the defender off in the end. And now Ryan and Rebayon are combining down the right. There's all kinds of action occurring in the center of the field right now.
No, definitely in that first touch of the game for Ross is a very nice pass to Gebhard, who unfortunately was a little farther, but nice to see Ross get in early on the action there.
Yeah, he's having an immediate impact, and some nice possession here again from Locomotive as they try to work something from the edge of the area. The shot comes in, but saved by Ochoa. Just a little bit tame in the end. But you can see Locomotive ramping the pressure up as we enter the last half hour of the game.
Oh, definitely, we have officially hit the 1 hour mark. Very interested to see how Mark's going to go ahead and play this. Very early substitution. I think you did call it about 60th minute, as we did have Ross coming in about the 59th.
Mishak Jerome just toying with Real's forwards on that one with a flick over the top. But a ball is in behind. Douglas Martinez has run onto this one. He's taking it towards a corner, puts a cross in. Not a lot of danger on this one as there was no one really arriving in the box for Monarchs, and now a long ball forward for Omar to try to get on the end of, and Omar goes down, maybe landed a little awkwardly. He's back on his feet. That's one of those where anytime Omar is on the ground, you're holding your breath, because obviously he's such an influential player for us, and such a big threat that you do worry what happens if there's any type of, God forbid, any type of injury. As they've created something a little promising here. Good challenge in the end from Andrew Fox. Hard-nosed challenge, the type that you'd expect to see from a lower division English player that Andrew Fox is, coming from Grimsby Town. But what a challenge to take away the danger there.
Nice to see that, especially in that area, to come out with that relentless challenge and be able to get that ball back. It looks like, Monarchs are trying to play that possession game a little bit as well, as we do see Ross trying to go and track it down.
Long ball across. Does find Chang in the end. Chang's trying to work on Andrew Fox. Cross comes into the area, headed away by Chiro. I mean, he's just massive in there. You're going to have problems getting a cross like that into the area. Well won in the end by Locomotive, and it's Rebaillon who comes away with the ball. Works it back to Mishak Jerome. That was well dealt with in what could have been a dicey situation for Locomotive.
No, definitely a little questionable pass there by Gebhard with the header, but very nice to see us to go and get out of that situation there.
And speaking of it, the ball's worked its way out to the right. Rebaillon looks to play a long ball through the center. He's looking for Contreras, who had made a good run between the center backs, but good defensive header there by Eric Holt, I believe. And now Monarchs headed the other way. It's out wide. Douglas Martinez is the man who's playing up top by himself, but he's worked his way out to the right. Monarchs just trying to create something here. They've had a little bit more possession in the last few minutes, and cross comes in. Difficult to deal with. It comes up. Ketterer will probably hold this one in, I believe.
Very nice play by Ketterer to keep that ball in play, not award them the corner.
Yeah.
I think we're very reminiscent of the first half here, where Locomotives are controlling the first 10 minutes and Monarchs are finding their holes here. But hopefully we can go and change that tempo up here quickly.
Yeah, we don't want to fall into that same pattern as the first half with Monarchs getting a lot of joy for about 10 minutes in the middle of the half. But we have seen them possess the ball a little bit more, and cheap giveaway there by Andrew Fox, and Monarchs headed back the other way. They're looking for the ball in behind, and luckily it's a poor pass in the end. It'll be out for a goal kick. That was, I think, Fox will definitely be hearing from Chiro on that one, as he gave that ball away cheaply in midfield.
No, definitely, and Fox does have to be a little careful there, letting his man get behind him. Very interested to see how Chiro's going to go ahead and handle that back there with him.
And another giveaway here by El Paso, just a little miscommunication out on the right, although that it's not as bad as that shank from Real Monarchs, which ends up in the stands. So Locomotive do have the ball back and just need to get things back to how they were about 5 minutes ago, ramping that pressure up, and can see they're trying to do it through Kiffy. Kiffy's gotten into a central position. Sebastian Contreras trying to get in behind it. Looked like there was some contact. Floated ball to the far post, looking for Gebhard, but caught by Ochoa pretty simply. That was a potentially dangerous situation again, and one you just have to. May have been a foul too on Contreras. Good floated cross to the back post. You can see exactly what he's going for. But Nick Ross, the substitute, popping up in the box on that one on the replay. So he's definitely got license to go forward since coming on.
No, definitely, and very great play by the Monarchs goalkeeper Ochoa to go in and come up for that one. He did have Ross and Gebhard tracking from the back as well. Very interesting to see how Locomotives are playing, and let's definitely want to see a couple more of those crosses come in, but we'd like to see them connect a lot more.
Good turn in midfield, and just the pass just not quite there for Salgado to run onto. That was a big opportunity, I think, and it's that pass before the goal that we're not really quite putting together, but that's a good ball out from the back. We've seen a few of those from Mishak Jerome today.
Definitely, and Jerome has played very well getting those long balls in. Keefe wasn't able to handle that. Luckily, a throw for us here, as we do get Fox getting that back into Chiro.
Mishak Jerome lines up a shot into the hands of Ochoa. He hit that from about 35 yards, and it stayed hit.
Definitely, maybe a little movement on that one, and we'd be celebrating the first goal of the day. Something we did bring up earlier. Jerome can really put his foot behind the ball there, and definitely why he's a big threat here for those set pieces.
Generated loads of power on that one, and definitely not a guy you want to give a run up. As now Contreras is going into the box. He's turned a couple of players. Contreras lines up the shot, saved by Ochoa again.
Ooh.
This is you can feel it. It's close. There is a goal on its way. It's just they've got to get that finish right in the end. And Fox upset about the award of a throw in for Monarchs there after the ball was judged to have come off of him. But a couple of really good looks there for Locomotive after a half of not really creating those shots on target.
No, definitely they are coming there, and a very nice shot by Contreras there. Would have been nice to see him maybe pass it off there, try to get a better look on it, but nice to see Locomotives are pushing a little bit more on goal.
Yeah, you love the that curling shot, and he just didn't quite get enough bend on it as the shot comes in, saved by Ketterer. Both teams having those shots from distance, and Ketterer had to be sure that was going over as the shot came in from Ricardo Avila.
I looked like it would have hit the post there, but it's better for Ketterer to get that over the bar to go ahead and make sure you get set for this corner.
I think this is Monarch's first corner of the game, if I'm not mistaken. And Jack Blake, the former Armada and Tampa Bay Rowdies man, to take it, floats it in. Ketterer does really well to claim it. That was well done. You always want the keeper to take charge in those type of situations on corners, and he did in that case.
Oh, definitely very nice to see Ketterer playing more aggressive and more decisive this week. You did mention probably a big point of emphasis in training this week. It's very nice to see him go in and make those decisions on a split second compared to last week.
Yeah, it seems like he is. He's a little. I think we talked about a little bit. I think just going away and having a little bit less of the expectation of the home crowd and all that energy in the stadium. I think it's nice to have this moment as Contreras has a little turn in the gears there and just goes past a couple players. Now he's forward down the left. He's got a chance to deliver a cross. It's stopped dead in its tracks by Eric Holt. And now a foul given against Chiro there on Douglas Martinez.
Definitely Contreras playing very well off the ball there. Be able to hand it off and get into that corner. They're trying to get that cross in. Hopefully he can lift that ball a little bit more. It seems like the last couple crosses have been closer to the ground than up in the air.
And Josh Castellanos makes his way into the match. I did not see Kiffy coming off, so be interesting to see how Castellanos lines up. He is an attacking midfielder. I don't necessarily think he's a wide player. They've also spelled Castellanos' name wrong on the graphics, so they're just having a rough day today over there in the graphics department. But Contreras able to turn on the ball again, floats a ball through looking for Omar, but a little bit of a miscommunication between the two there, I think. And we talked pre-match about how that link up was going to be vital and just not quite functioning at the level that is needed to produce a goal right now.
No, definitely. And real quick on that graphic, I think I'm going to have to go back and watch, but I think they did mess up on Yuma's name on the change as well.
So I know his name is or his real name is Monsalves is his actual last name, but yeah, it's been a rough day from USL in the graphics area, and I'm sure they'll improve as the season goes on. They're still in early season form, so they'll start to gel a little bit better and get things right. They do have 36 teams to pay attention to now, so it's an awful big league to track every player of.
They may have to go and contact somebody over there in the Premier League to go ahead and help them out and manage so many teams.
Yeah, now we're trying to work things too. Omar's come out a little bit wide, linked up with Gebhard there. He's pulled back. It is a free kick. Gebhard, like we said, they've had a hell of a time trying to marshal him today as the foul's given against Akumu, who runs away with the ball. And I always find that so strange when it's a clear kind of time wasting situation, because yellow cards are given for that, but they're almost always given late in the game. But if a foul's given against your team and you pick the ball up and run away with it, I mean, is there a clearer case of time wasting than something like that?
Well, I believe so, especially when you see him just kick it away and, oh, good shot there. Definitely sometimes at one point you just got to get that card out.
My stream fell a little bit behind. I'll have to catch up. It was the shot came in the end and was blocked. And now chance created here. Seb getting in behind. It's a goal kick. I thought he earned a corner there. It was Eric Holt tracking back. I had to catch my stream up a little bit, and it was actually Castellanos, yeah.
Putting the pressure on there, trying to go ahead and take advantage of a mistake. Too bad he wasn't able to go and get that ball into the area.
I really think that did not come off him last for a goal kick. I think he may have earned a corner there, but given Monarchs' way, El Paso win things back quickly, though. Foul there, really late tackle, and I think we may see our first booking of the game. We do.
Ooh.
It's Douglas Martinez shown a yellow card there. That was a very, very poor forwards tackle, I'll say, on I think it was Chiro there. No, actually Fox, my bad. Yeah, just late and very, very definitely not the tackle of a seasoned defender.
No, definitely. I think just trying to reach for the ball a little bit there. Got a clip of his foot there, and nice to finally see the first booking of the game, especially after our Monarchs have been playing this game today.
Yeah, they've definitely been breaking things up in attack and getting a hold of El Paso's forwards. I thought that might be given for a foul, but Monarchs breaking the other way comes to nothing in the end, and Locomotive headed back the other way. Ross with a little bit of possession in midfield.
I got to say, I think Jerome got away with the quick foul there.
Yeah, he may have. He gets a nice push on the Monarchs forward, but Jerome playing that long ball forward, and you can see that is the route that El Paso are trying to take to goal. It is that ball over the top that they see as the best way of getting at this Monarchs back line.
Enough as we're reaching the 75th minute. We really need to see a couple more attacking plays here by the Locomotives.
Yeah, I think the pressure just needs to ramp up a little bit, and when that chance comes, they just have to be very, very deadly and very clinical in the execution. So far, we haven't seen that killer instinct yet, but as we enter the last 15 minutes of regular time, I think that's the biggest thing that probably needs to change.
And definitely, as we can see, Locomotives are trying to get a little bit more on that possession-based game. Hopefully, we can sneak in behind the back line, and Omar or Gebhardt can go ahead and get a good, nice touch or two inside the box.
Yeah, ball forward for Contreras just kind of spun away from him by Real Monarchs, and now they'll look to hit on the counter. Castellanos tracking back. Good tackle from Castellanos. Really good. He's been brought on as an attacking sub, but what a tackle that was tracking back.
And definitely nice to see him go in and come back for that ball. Definitely we're seeing that influence of Mark Laurie of wanting these guys to go ahead and chase after the ball after losing it.
Yeah, it's that was fantastic to deal with a genuinely dangerous situation. What a tackle in the end. And now Jerome kind of trying to bring things forward. Rebellon and Gebhard now combining. And again, slowing things down and just trying to really, I mean, the way the game has been poised, you feel like they just need that one opening, and if they can put a goal away, it will be enough. That's just how this game has played out. You really feel like the next goal wins it.
No, definitely. Just like you mentioned, the way this game's being played, not many opportunities for each team. It's a matter of putting it away. Once it does, it's going to feel like a hill.
Oh, and just wide from, I think it may have been Castellanos coming in off the left. Oh, what a chance. So Seb did really well to put it through, and it's just wide of the post.
What a great pass there inside the box. Castellanos just got to put his foot behind it, get a little more accurate to get that shot on target, and just a couple more feet to the right, and I think that would have been behind the net.
That is the best chance I think that we've seen, even with the shots on target. Really have to expect to put that one on target, and Castellanos, that's why he's been brought on, as this long ball forward is going to go out for a Loco throw. That is the type of situation that you want to see him deal with, and that felt like such a big opportunity as that ball found its way all the way across the box to the far post. But Locomotive still looking to get forward, still looking to create here. Contreras backing his man up, and should be a Locomotive throw here. Will they try to...
Castellanos playing more out of the wing, and Gebhard's kind of trailing a little bit more as the match is progressing.
Yeah. Gebhard's dropped a little bit deeper. Rebellion's up to take the throw. He opts to throw it back to Mishak Jerome. Chiro now in space, and he finds Richie Ryan in the center of the field. It is now El Paso. As we entered this last 15 minutes, you would have to think Monarchs are just looking at, as Contreras puts a shot in, but did not get the power behind it. Yet another shot on target for the Locomotives, and just not able to make Ochoa really work yet. He hasn't made any spectacular saves yet, and they just have not been able to be as deadly as you'd expect from those type of situations. As Fox able to collect that long ball from Ochoa, Castellanos forward, cut out by Monarchs. They are playing very much for the scoreless draw right now. Monarchs with 10 men for the better part of the game. They've played the last 48 minutes with 10 men, and they have yet to crack. Locomotive trying to put the pressure on to make them crack.
No, definitely. You can tell Monarchs are really just trying to go in and play for that 0-0 draw. It looks like they have about 8 to 9 men back with the lone striker on top at the moment, trying to go in and handle the pressure that the Locomotives are bringing.
Castellanos puts his man on the floor. He's got a chance here to put a cross in, and it's deflected just away from Locomotive's onrushing attackers. About 4 people got into the box to get on the end of that one, and now Richie Ryan has slipped and given the ball away cheaply. They'll go for goal from about 50 yards here, and Ketterer, did he get a touch before it went out of play? I really hope not. Oh, God, it's a corner. He really did not need to do that. I think he just kind of lost where the goal was at, and obviously no one wants to get beat from that sort of distance, but it was a hopeful hit and well wide, but Ketterer got the touch on it to make sure as we enter the last 10 minutes of the game, right across the 80th minute. It was Douglas just lining up the Xabi Alonso, Wayne Rooney, from halfway type goal.
I think it's a matter of just Ketterer losing track of where the actual goal was. Really backed up with Castellanos with that great play on the other end, bringing the defender down to the floor.
Corner comes in, header flicked away by a Locomotive defender, and it'll be a Monarchs throw. Ketterer came for that and did not get there, and that's more of what we saw last week. And you just have to feel like he just, if he's going to come for that, he's got to get there, especially on a corner where it could create such a dangerous opportunity.
No, definitely with Ketterer's height, he's got to come away with all those corners, especially if he's going to play a little aggressive there. it is a little scary seeing him come out and that ball being flicked away. Monarchs could have easily gone a quick little goal there.
Yeah, just have to improve the communication, and I think it is something that you'll see get better with time. It'll be interesting to see in these last 10 minutes if Mark makes a final change to try and change things here as Monarchs have another throw. It goes short.
Gonna change here.
I think that's a foul given against Real Monarchs. Fox handled quite roughly in that instance by the already booked Douglas Martinez, the Honduran who spent last season in the Honduran First Division, actually. Now Locomotive getting forward, and 9 minutes plus whatever's added on at the end to really try and grab the 3 points here. You have to feel like any goal would be decisive at this point in the game.
No, definitely, and it's a matter of Locomotives here trying to get that one goal. It is going to be a decisive goal. Whoever scores here is going to walk away with the 3 points.
Little interchange down the right ends with Contreras coming away with possession and Locomotive earning a throw. Comes back in for Contreras, who works it back to Reballon, who opts to play it back for Mishak Jerome. Mishak asking for a little more support to drop back to play the ball out from the back, as Chiro now looking for a ball out and goes down the right. Gebhard running at his man again. He's cut inside. Oh, it's actually Contreras. Chips one to the far post. Castellanos takes it off the chest and puts it just wide.
Oh, man.
What a strike.
What another great from Castellanos. It looks like we do have a corner coming up, but that's
a corner
goal. Since coming in about 12 minutes ago, he's really made a great impact there.
Was that a save? Oh, what a save.
Oh, that was going in, and Castellanos knows it.
That I had just said a couple of minutes ago that Ochoa hadn't done anything spectacular yet. We hadn't forced him into anything spectacular. That is a spectacular save from David Ochoa in the Real Monarchs goal to keep things scoreless. But that is as close as Locomotive have come in this game. What a shot by Castellanos, and he nearly opened his account at El Paso Locomotive with a fantastic strike, but Ochoa equal to it.
I definitely did mention, I think that's Ochoa's first big save of the day. Everything has been shot right at him. And again, Castellanos has been a big help coming in here. He came in the 70th minute.
Yeah, I think Castellanos probably making a case to start the next game on the back of this performance. He has had a big impact and so nearly had that opening goal here in the 83rd minute. It looks like Douglas Martinez is exiting the game now. He's coming off. I'm sure this will be a defensive substitution. I haven't seen who's coming on for Monarchs yet, but it is going to be German, probably German, as he looks to immediately get on the ball. They've focused on the substitute here. Douglas Martinez was on a booking. Wasn't really affecting the game as much as he probably would have liked. And German on now for the last 5+ minutes of regular time. Haven't been a ton of stoppages in the second half, so I can't imagine there will be a ton of injury time here. As Reballon does well to take that ball down and go past his man, goes past another. He's ghosting past Monarchs players here. He's going to deliver a cross in. It's deflected, and it can't be brought down on the edge of the area. I think it was Omar, actually, who had dropped to the edge of the area. Foul there on Fox. No, German, he is playing in that forward role, so it's not a defensive substitution, but he is just tasked with running at Locomotive's back line, and I think maybe a case of just bringing on some fresh legs, as Douglas Martinez had likely tired having run chasing shadows most of the game.
No, definitely. And I think Douglas's yellow card back in the 73rd minute, it really affected the way he'd been playing the past 10 minutes. I feel like it's just a matter of safety for him, try not to get that second yellow red.
Yeah. Now El Paso getting down the line again. Cross in from the left, headed away by Real Monarchs. It'll be out for a Locomotive throw.
Looks like Mark Bailey looking to make another change here pretty shortly.
Yeah, it's Fox to take the throw. Contreras was the one delivering that cross in down the line. And like you said, Contreras just absolutely everywhere for Locomotive. I'd be fascinated to see the heat map of where he's taken his touches, because I feel like he's basically covered every inch of ground out there for Locomotive.
Wouldn't be surprised if it surpassed that 3,000-yard mark for running around today.
Yeah, he's been absolutely all over the place, just popping up in dangerous places. Hasn't made it count yet in terms of scoring, but he's had a big impact today. And now a little bit of a dicey clearance there from Mishak Jerome, and then a foul given away by Castellanos out on the right wing. It was Michael Chang who was underneath Castellanos. Castellanos, another former Armada player who's making his way through with Locomotive. He played at Florida Gulf Coast for his college ball, and then has played with Armada for the last few seasons. Had a big impact for them. He scored a couple goals in the Open Cup, which actually took them past Tampa Bay Rowdies, as this ball comes in from the left for Monarchs and no one's able to reach it. Thankfully, I think it is behind for a goal kick. But Castellanos having a big impact for Armada, and is just at each level that he's played at, he's shown his quality and denied a great goal with by a great save from Monarchs keeper David Ochoa there.
No, definitely, and I feel like Castellanos is, like you said, making his case and going into the starting 11. Looks like right now the past minute or two, Monarchs showing a little bit of life, trying to attack a little more. As we do reach in the last couple minutes of this game, Locomotives really need to bring the pace up.
Well, any goal now, I mean, we said any goal would be decisive, but now that is certain. Any score by either team here will be decisive. So Locomotive keeping the pressure up as they give a throwaway here for Monarchs, and you think they're going to probably press to try to win this ball back as high up as possible as Andrew Brody takes this throw.
I'm very interested to see if Monarchs are still going to be playing for the tie here, as we did see in the past couple minutes, as Locomotives are trying to pick up the pace here.
Well worked here, and I think they've earned a corner. It was a ball through for Salgado, which didn't quite come off, but Monarchs put it behind. It is a corner. Contreras is over to take. This is a big opportunity with just under 2 minutes left in regular time. Can Locomotive make the pressure count as this is floated in towards the center? Ochoa claims it extremely well, and he'll look to roll this out from the back and start a counterattack for Real Monarchs.
Ochoa today has been very impressive. The very few times he's had to go in and come off his line or make some saves has been very impressive on stopping all these Locomotive threats today.
Contreras back on the ball, fouled cynically there by the Monarchs player. Again, stopping a counterattack, but just the one booking still handed out for that challenge for Douglas for either team. So I guess you could say it's been reffed evenly in that neither team has really been targeted in terms of bookings or anything like that, as it's given away. Mishak stepping up to win that header back, but it's all the way through to the keeper, Ochoa. We are entering the last minute of regular time. I don't imagine a ton of time will be added on. Real Monarchs will just be looking to get out of this one with the single point for a draw. This is headed on. Fox plays a long ball forward. Omar will chase this. It's late in the game. Omar, he's been doing a lot of work up top, not getting a ton of love, but he's got a chance here. He's chipped it through. Ball goes in towards the near post, deflected, and is it a corner? Is it a goal kick?
Looks like they've given him the goal kick.
They've given the goal kick, and so no deflection on that. Just a poor contact in the end. 2 minutes added on. We are into the first minute already, and you can probably see that Monarchs will just look to try to make these 2 minutes contain as little soccer as possible to try to kill this game off.
No, definitely. And I mean, The Locomotive is very disappointing if we do walk away with 1 point, playing with the man down for most of the game, about a whole hour playing with the man down. Monarchs has got to think this is a victory for them coming away with the 1 point if it does stay like this.
Yeah, this will certainly feel like 2 points dropped for Locomotive rather than a point gained for Real Monarchs. But there is still about a minute of time to be played here for Locomotive to change the script. Can they get that decisive goal? It would be an absolute, I mean, all of the eighth notchers down at the Palomino would be absolutely freaking out. That is a tough challenge there. I think we'll see our second booking of the game.
Oof.
That is a very rough challenge, and exactly the type of challenge you'd expect from a team that is trying to see out a tough 0-0 here, down a man. Contreras will have a chance to deliver this ball into the box. And can El Paso find a winner right at the death? This would be a extremely dramatic goal if it's scored now.
No, definitely. And I believe that booking was awarded here to Blake, Jack Blake here, number 48.
Taken short. Chip towards the back post. Free header. Oh, and it's gone just wide. It should be a corner for Locomotive. Oh, what a chance. I think
Locomotive
it was Rebayón.
Some work here late in the game. Hopefully we can get this in on the corner. This will probably be to one of the last kicks of the game here.
In towards the penalty spot. It's headed away. Will they let Locomotive play a little bit? Offside flag goes up against Locomotive, and that will probably do it from this free kick. Locomotive creating the opportunities here. Not able to make the pressure count today, and it does look like that will be that. It is a 0-0 draw away to Real Monarchs. It's not a bad result if you took it in context before the match, but given that Locomotive played with a man advantage for the better part of an hour, it is tough, especially given the chances that Locomotive had towards the end of the game. Just a tough result to take. As they do not register a goal at Real Monarchs. That man, David Ochoa, he is the man to for Monarchs to thank for that one. If he's not man of the match, he should be.
No, definitely. And this is a great example of 2 points lost for the Locomotives here. Many great chances the last 15 minutes of the match. Castellanos and Contreras really putting the pressure on. Like you did say, playing a man up for a good part of an hour. It's very disappointing walking away with the point today, and hopefully we can get the ball within the net. Ochoa, props to him today. He did get a couple great saves in the latter part of the game. Really didn't make him work too early. Very interested to see how Mark's going to go ahead and address the team after this one.
Yeah, it was certainly a case of those chances that we created in the first half were not that threatening to Ochoa. And in the end, that save from Castellanos has really been the difference between a win or a draw and a loss for Monarchs, in that he gets just a fingertip to it when it was goal bound for sure. And Castellanos denied a dramatic winner for Locomotive. A tough one to take here.
Definitely, and I think Mark made the right decisions on the changes there. Ross did make a couple good impacts. Castellanos definitely had a couple shots on goal. Definitely Ochoa's got to be awarded man of the match overall. I believe Contreras has definitely got to be awarded man of the match for the Locomotives, as he was all over the pitch today. And definitely see what we can do about Rio Grande next week.
Yeah, it will be interesting headed into that next match. I think the focus is certainly on, the trend in the last two games. I think the outlier is the defensive performance, in that you saw today the quality of the defense and exactly what they can bring to the table. I think the one constant between the two games is just the lack of killer instinct and the lack of ability to put that final ball in and just really convert the chances that are presented to them. So that is going to be, I think, the focus going forward, is trying to get the offense to really be lethal in those moments.
No, definitely. And I think you bring a very good point. The defense was really great. Jerome, really great performance again today. Great challenges. Chiro did great again. A couple questionable decisions by Chiro today. Whatever you really up and down the pitch today, would definitely want to see his heat map again, as well as Contreras. Kiffy did go ahead and do great as well, coming up and down. Fox did have a couple questionable plays, let a couple men get behind him, but our defensive backline is definitely a point of emphasis on this squad this year.
Yeah, I think overall they played well, and it will be a interesting season for everyone involved. If you guys enjoyed the broadcast, please subscribe to Seriously Loco on YouTube. You can also find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and yeah, if you're into that sort of thing, head over there and get subscribed so you don't miss anything. We will be back for a full podcast in the next week, and we'll be covering the game here against Rio Grande Valley on the 23rd. We'll have people in the press box, people in 105, so come out and say hi. And definitely get behind the squad as they head into that match against Rio Grande. Austin, you got any final thoughts before we sign off here?
Not too much. Raul Melgoza, anything with Chapa playing? Real quick recap. We did have Ross come in for Yuma, minute 59. We also did have Castellanos come in for Keefe in minute 70. Still have not seen Chapa play this season, but definitely it's going to be exciting next week, guys. We do have the first game of the Copa Texas. Be sure to head out to Southwest University Park. Listen to Seriously Local podcasts. You can find us on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, any app where you do listen to your podcast as well.
Yeah, the Chapa thing will be interesting to see going forward, as he hasn't gotten any minutes. But Castellanos, the impact player there, and unlucky in my opinion not to score that goal. The shot came in and was fantastic and deserving of the winning goal. So Ochoa stood on his head there for the last about 10 minutes, and Locomotive in the end unlucky to come away with just the 1 point. For Seriously Loco, I'm Phil Bakke, and for Austin Young, this is us signing off. Stay loco, guys, and I'll see you at the Palomino if you're down there.